Okay, you've heard it a million times, right? The $1,000,000 morning routine. You gotta wake up at 4 a.m., meditate, journal, slam a green juice, exercise, read 50 pages. The list just goes on and on. But what if the real secret to winning isn't about adding more stuff to your plate? Today, we're gonna dive into a totally counterintuitive idea that's helping champions dominate, not by adding, but by taking away.
So this comes from the entrepreneur Alex Hormozi. And he says that most of us are asking the completely wrong question. We see someone who's super successful and we think, man, what are they doing that I'm not doing? Hormozi's answer is pretty blunt. You're looking at it all wrong. He believes the secret isn't in what successful people do, it's in what they don't do.
And that's the big question we're digging into here. It's a concept he calls the anti-routine, a whole framework built not on adding more things, but on aggressive strategic subtraction. It basically flips the entire conventional wisdom about productivity on its head.
Now you might be thinking, why should I listen to this guy? Well, because this isn't just some theory he cooked up. Hormozi used this exact anti-routine to go from the edge of bankruptcy to personally taking home over $1,000,000 a month, all in just 18 months. Yeah, those are the kind of results that make you sit up and pay attention.
So, how on earth did he pull off that kind of transformation? Well, it all starts with a huge paradigm shift, a totally different way of thinking about what it takes to win. It's about really understanding what separates the champions from, well, everyone else.
Here it is, the core insight. Hormozi says champions don't have some secret sauce you don't. They lack something that you have. Just think about that for a second. An elite athlete? They might lack an off switch. They just keep pushing when everyone else stops. It's their lack of that internal brake that actually drives their success. It's all about removing the distractions and the mental roadblocks that we all carry around.
So, let's officially define this thing. The anti-routine is a system of strategic elimination. Now, this isn't about being lazy, not at all. It's about being absolutely ruthless with your time and your focus. You're cutting away everything that isn't essential to make massive room for the one thing that truly is. And when you put it side by side with the traditional approach, the difference is it's stark. Traditional routines are all about adding more habits, more meetings, more complexity. The anti-routine is the opposite. It's about subtracting. Fewer obligations, zero distractions, and a singular, relentless focus. You're simplifying everything to amplify your results.
Okay, so how do you actually put this into practice? It all starts with embracing one single, incredibly powerful word. This is where you enter what Hormozi calls a season of no, a temporary but super intense period of pure focus.
And that word is no. It is so important to understand that saying no is not a negative thing. It's the ultimate act of prioritization. See, every time you say yes to something, you're secretly saying no to every single other thing you could have been doing. The anti-routine just makes you face that choice head on.
And here's a huge mindset shift that goes with that. You need to start seeing every single notification, every email, every text, every DM, not as a conversation, but as a take. It's a demand for your most precious resource, your focus. Someone is always asking for a piece of you, even with a simple message. To break that deep-seated need we all have to please everybody, try this little thought experiment. Imagine if 500,000 people texted you right this second. Could you physically reply to every single one of them? Of course not. It's impossible. You'd literally have no life outside of just typing replies.
And that right there is the aha moment. This thought experiment proves that the obligation you feel to reply to every little thing, it was never real. We get so caught up confusing our ability to reply with an obligation to reply. Once you realize you are not obligated, you're suddenly free to choose where your focus really goes.
Okay, so the philosophy makes a lot of sense, but what does this actually look like in real life? Day to day. Let's get into the playbook, the specific and, sometimes pretty extreme tactics that Hormozi used to make this whole thing a reality. This is where it gets real. He literally changed his phone number to just cut off all the random inbound requests. He stopped going to any events or masterminds because he figured he already knew what he needed to do. He deleted all social media from his phone to kill that mindless scrolling habit. Weekends became the same as weekdays, same bedtime, same wake-up time to keep the momentum going. He even fasted a day or two a week just to save time on prepping food and cut his workouts to the bare minimum needed to stay fit. Every single decision was put through one filter:
Does this help me achieve my main goal?
But out of all the things he subtracted, maybe the most powerful move can be summed up with this one single number: 0. What could this possibly represent?
0 was the number of meetings he accepted before noon. That's it. Every single day, from 4 a.m. to 12 p.m., he built this 8-hour, sacred, totally uninterrupted block of time that was dedicated only to the single most important work he had to do. That's how you make real, game-changing progress.
So, we've seen the philosophy, we've gone through the playbook. But this isn't just about Alex Hormozi's story. The real question is about you. How can this way of thinking apply to your life and your goals? At the end of the day, the goal of the anti-routine is to get to a state of absolute clarity. You strip away the noise, you strip away the fake obligations and the distractions until the only thing left staring you in the face is the essential work. No more excuses, just the task at hand.
And this all leads us to the final and most powerful shift in perspective. For our whole lives, we've been trained to ask ourselves, what more can I do? What should I add to my routine to be successful? We're always looking for that one magic bullet to add.
But maybe the most powerful question you can ask yourself today is the complete opposite. Instead of looking for something to add to your life, look for something you can subtract. Look at your day, look at your week, look at all your commitments, and just ask yourself, what should I stop doing? The answer to that question just might be the key that unlocks everything.